Matter of fact, my daughter just completed her first year at Bob Jones University. My
Oh,
older
no
daughter.
kidding.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, I'm here with Mark Garrow now from PRN, the Performance Racing Network, of guys whose voice I hope you recognize if you listen to racing on the radio. Mark, thanks for being here. I want you to tell me a little bit about your Christian walk and how you deal with being a Christian in this crazy business.
Well, I became a Christian fairly late in my life. I grew up a Catholic. I was an altar boy 6 days a week, 5 days, Monday through Friday, early in the morning before school started, and then, of course, on Sunday, and sort of walked away from religion. And then I met my wife, and more importantly, I met her father, who was a real stand-up Christian guy. And so I started going to church with them. And on 11/7/97, I decided to, give myself up to Jesus and to try to follow him the best I can. And I'm privileged to have 2 daughters that are saved, and my wife is saved, and we spend a lot of time at our church. My daughters go to a Christian school. My oldest daughter goes to Bob Jones University. So we try to be as serious about it. We sin every day, but we try to be about as serious with our walk as we can be.
I'm with Mark Garrow once again from PRN. Mark, what about being on the road? You spend time on the road. You're away from your home church. Is that difficult?
Yes, it is. But I have found that we're online, and so when I can find the time on a Sunday morning, which isn't very often, I'll try to watch the service live. And if not, I'll try to catch it, on the way back to the hotel or the airplane, the airport, or I'll catch it the next day on a Monday. But I try to stay as close to it as I can. One thing I do in the absence of church, I've got an app on my phone, so I listen to a lot of different pastors and preachers and try to get a lot of different messages when I'm on the road.
Once again, Mark Garrow from PRN. One last question.
Okay.
There's a number of Christian drivers. Do you chat with them? You talk with them about their walk at all? Do you ever get any chance to visit with them on other than a racing business end of it?
A few times you'll get a chance to. I've talked to Michael McDowell at one point about this, Trevor Bain one time, where I told him how important it was for a young man like him to be the kind of role model that he's been, because my daughters, one's 15, one's 19, they connect with a Trevor Bain way more than they connect with a Jeff Gordon or anybody like that.
Morgan Shepherd.
Morgan Shepherd,
yeah.
That kind of thing. And told them how important it is. It's a lot of pressure on these guys to stand up, tell people they're of their faith, and then have to live it in front of their eyes. Most of us can make our mistakes well out of the glare of the public viewing it, but these guys don't often have that luxury, so it's pretty difficult for them. But I can remember a long time ago, there was a driver by the name of Lake Speed. He came and testified to me, and also David Smith, who used to be a crewman with Richard Childress Racing on Dale Earnhardt's car. I remember he was the very first guy to stop me one day out at the racetrack and ask me, you might be hanging with the wrong group, and has anybody really stopped to talk to you about a personal relationship with Jesus? So I talked to those guys, and I remember picking up a Bible after that and trying to read it from the start to the finish like a regular book, and Lake Speed just laughing his head off when I told him I'd begun that process. And also, I'll never forget, he told me, he said, "Mark, I'll put it in terms that you can understand as a race fan." He said, "What we're doing here on Earth is basically the Daytona qualifying races for the Daytona 500. And he said, we get the 500 later on. And so I'll never forget those guys testifying to me.
Thanks a lot.